Hi, my name is Jessica Riddell, and today I'm going to be discussing the organization Doctors Without Borders. My hope is that by the time I'm done, you'll know a little bit about what Doctors Without Borders is all about, how vital their work is to healthcare, how many developing countries around the world rely on Doctors Without Borders as their sole means of healthcare, and how their volunteer work affects the health of the entire world, not only those in developing countries. With your newfound knowledge, and hopefully a zest to invest in a worthy cause, I hope you'll feel compelled to make a large donation to Doctors Without Borders. So first of all, Doctors Without Borders is unlike any humanitarian aid agency. Their charter states that they are to deliver life-saving and needed medical aid to any group, regardless of the country's political ideology, religious beliefs, or any financial constraints they may come across. Along with delivering medical care, the group notes in its charter that if need be, they will bear witness to any atrocities they observe, such as the genocide that occurred in Uganda in the 1990s. In order to bear witness in this way, they will grant interviews to the media, they will share any personal photos they may have, or do basically whatever it takes to lift the veil of secrecy from atrocities. Volunteers for Doctors Without Borders risk their lives in countries where they may not be welcome, such is the case when a dictatorial government is using starvation as a weapon against its own people. Many times, Doctors Without Borders volunteers are subject to violence, are kidnapped, or even killed in countries of this sort. So, as you can see, Doctors Without Borders is truly a unique organization. In addition, they are absolutely non-profit. They receive no financial gain for their efforts. Their finances and the use of their donations is entirely transparent for anyone to scrutinize. According to their website, 86 cents out of every dollar goes towards program services, 12.7 cents goes towards fundraising, while only 1.3 cents goes towards the management of the group. Second, Doctors Without Borders are unique among other humanitarian organizations in that they are oftentimes the only aid group with volunteers on the ground delivering skilled medical care. In West Africa, they remain the only group as of yet on the ground constructing temporary field hospitals and desperately trying to care for the overwhelming numbers of people who are infected with the Ebola virus. Now, while the Red Cross and World Health Organization may come to mind as the type of groups one would expect to be first responders in cases like this, both those groups have been known to shy away from political strife. In short, if they are not welcome in a country, they will not volunteer their services. Many groups have donated money to the effort to halt the Ebola virus, but while many can help, without enough doctors, nurses, and supplies, money is meaningless in fighting a deadly virus. Doctors Without Borders is also a key participant in other global healthcare crises, such as the recent outbreaks of drug-resistant TB around the world. Because TB is considered largely contained in most developed countries, drug companies are unable to make a profit manufacturing the vaccine. However, in developing nations, diseases like TB and polio run rampant. Doctors Without Borders strives to assist these countries in halting easily preventable diseases. However, drug companies will charge exorbitantly high fees or even halt entire countries from having access to their vaccine simply because of what they may consider to be a patent violation. Doctors Without Borders bears witness to shameful business practices like this, urging Big Pharma to make life-saving medication low cost and available to everyone. Finally, in many developing countries, there is absolutely no infrastructure for facilities such as hospitals to reach those in remote areas or even in entire countries. Many of the poorest of these people rely on Doctors Without Borders as their only means of health care. For these reasons, Doctors Without Borders is largely responsible for treating and containing deadly viruses all around the world. Diseases like Ebola spread across geographic borders rapidly, and without treatment, a disease like this can easily become a pandemic. So in conclusion, Doctors Without Borders does more on a volunteer basis to treat the world's sick than most for-profit organizations do. Their goal is merely to do what's right, not to profit or ally themselves with a particular ideology. Doctors Without Borders volunteers minister to the sick regardless of politics or danger. They place themselves in harm's way to be of service to the truly needy. They bear witness to unthinkable atrocities. And their volunteers physically do what's needed to halt the progression of deadly diseases that could potentially spread all around the world. Doctors Without Borders is truly a humanitarian organization. As Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." That is a credo I try to live by, and personally, I intend to volunteer my nursing skills to Doctors Without Borders because I feel so strongly about the rightness of their goals. I hope that you too feel compelled to support Doctors Without Borders. They are truly an organization worthy of a $1 million donation. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't think I have any questions, but I definitely think I'll be donating to Doctors Without Borders.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.